Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their daily chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. Now, just to let you know, I'm not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use it to start an account and you'll get 2 free stocks. I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account. You'll get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, I will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so let's get into the market today. Today is September 21st, 2021. It is Tuesday, and you can see here after yesterday, starting the week off on a bad note with a huge sell-off yesterday, the market is green today. The S&P 500 is up 0.07%. The Dow is up 0.14%, and the NASDAQ is up 0.27%. You could see there was a little bit of a sell-off this morning. Around 10:45, we bottomed out, and we've recovered nicely since then. You could see we did, looks like we topped out around noon, and then we've had a little bit of a sell-off since then. So we'll see what the rest of the day brings and the rest of the week. We do have the Fed speaking this week also, and it looks like we are in the middle of a correction, it looks like, in the market. So we'll see what happens here. A little bit of a bounce off of this past week that we have had, a lot of selling happening in the market. So we'll see if this is just a bounce and then more selling, a dead cat bounce, that like they call it. And then we'll see if the selling continues for the rest of the week. But anyway, let's get into the stock I wanted to take a look at today. Let's go over Draftkings. I've done a few videos on this one in the past. I wanted to do an update on this one. I'll provide a link in the upper right hand corner to the most recent one that I've done, so you could see how I got to where my chart is today. You should be seeing that link right about now, and you could go back and check that out to see how I got to where my chart is today. But anyway, today Draftkings is down today. It's trading at $53.95 at the time of this recording. It's down $3.05 on the day, which is the equivalent of about 5.37%. So it's down pretty big today on a overall green day in the market, and we'll get to that in a minute why it's down so big. But in the past week, this stock is down about 8.8%, and in the past month, it is still up, however, 1.16%. In the past 3 months, it's still up 12.75%, and in the past year, we are pretty much flat in the past year. It's kind of been trading sideways in the past year. It's up 1.23%. So you could see, on the chart here, going back to last September, which is right in here where my mouse is going up and down. This is last September right here. You could see it's traded sideways. Not much movement here. It's gone up, down in a range here. You did get to this all-time high of $74.38. And let me zoom in here. We hit that on March 22nd of earlier this year. But pretty much, we've been stuck in this range between, it looks like, $42 and $64.50 in between that support and that resistance area, and we haven't really been able to break out of that area. So that's the range we've been in for the past year. So we've been flat for the past year. We're going to need to get out of that area if we want to move on and see this thing start to make new highs here. So let's get into the chart here. You could see on the chart I have my resistance area at the top. Where the all-time high is at $74.38. That is where we need to get back to. We need to get above that area. Or actually, no, that was the all-time high. we do need to get to $72. That is the area that we've never been able to close above, so we're going to need to get back to $72 and close above there to move on to new highs. Okay, we've never been able to close above $72, so we'll need to get back there and close above there to move on to new highs. Now, going down our chart here, you could see we have resistance at $64.50. That is a resistance area that we hit on the way up to those all-time highs. You could see we did hit that point around October of last year, and we did just hit that just about a week ago here before we had this big sell-off in the stock. So that is a resistance point, and we're going to need to get through that point in the future if we want to see this thing, you know, break through these all-time highs up here. That's going to be a major price point for this stock to break through, you know, if we want to see this thing get up to new highs, okay? Now, going down our chart here, you could see around $42 is where we have had support just recently. That was former resistance on the way up for this stock here, and now it has become support in the recent past here. You know, coming off of these all-time highs, we had a big dip here during the correction that we saw recently in the NASDAQ around February here, in the beginning of the year, coming off of that all-time high, and we did have that big dip, came down to that $42 area, and that's where we bottomed out there, and that $42 area held. We had a recovery off there, came up, and then came down, had a double bottom off of that $42 support. So that is the area to watch. If we do come back down, we'll be looking at that $42 area again to see a bounce off of there. Okay, so keep an eye on that area for support. Looks like there is another support area around $56. So keep an eye on $56 as an area of value too for this stock. Okay, now taking a look at our chart here, you can see my green trend line is the trend we've been on going back to the lows we made in COVID here. That is March of 2020. And you could see, because this stock started off as a SPAC here, this goes down to around $9.76 was the low that it started from. So around $10 here we started, and it's been on an uptrend ever since, and it hasn't broken this trend right here since we've been going up. So you could see it's been on a nice steady uptrend going up, and it's been going up into this resistance area. So pretty much we're on an ascending triangle going up into that resistance area of $74.38. So hopefully we can continue along this trend line and continue into that resistance area without breaking our trend, and hopefully eventually we will break that resistance point in the future. So that's why we will continue to look at this trend line and hopefully continue to trade along that until we get to this resistance point, and then we will break that resistance point. So just watch that trend line as we continue to trade along it. You could see today and yesterday, you know, we made that big drop, and it looks like we have continued to stay, you know, on our trend line. We did not drop below it, so we're still good on that for now. All right, now looking at this red trend line here, that is you know, the downtrend we've been on since making that lower low here coming off of our all-time high, and we'll keep an eye on that also, because it's going to be very important in the next couple weeks, you know, coming off of this all-time high. If we don't make a higher high off of this high right here, you know, we could break our trend line ultimately. So that's why we'll need to watch this to see if we break this trend line. You know, this could be out of the question, this ascending triangle, and ultimately we could continue to keep dropping here. So we'll keep an eye on that in the future. Now, it looks like we did drop below our 200-day moving average today, it looks like our 50-day moving average supported us today when we had the big drop here. So far today, our 50-day moving average acted as support. We dropped below our 200-day moving average here in the yellow. Okay, so our 50-day moving average is in the blue. And that held us up right now so far today. But there is still some time left today in the trading day so far. So we'll keep an eye on our moving averages. 50-day is acting as support so far. Now let's switch over to our weekly chart, see what's going on here. And on our weekly chart, it looks like we traded all the way down to our 21 period moving average on the weekly chart today. So you could see that acted as support when we had that big sell-off today. That also acted as support. And right now we traded up to our 50 period moving average on our weekly chart too. So keep those in mind for support right now. If we finish the week above this 50 period moving average as support, and also our 21 period moving average here in the light blue, okay? So keep that in mind. We'll see how the week finishes out, but just keep an eye on those, okay? Now going back to our daily chart, and I also wanted to tell you about the sell-off. The reason we are in a sell-off today is because they're trying to acquire another gambling company like they did for Golden Nugget Online Gaming. So they're doing the same thing like that they did with Golden Nugget. They're doing that with Entain. So that's why they are selling off today, which is weird because when they did it for Golden Nugget, the stock went up, but today the stock is selling off. So that's the news today that's causing it to sell off. But we'll keep an eye on this, see what it does for the rest of the week, and see what the market does here, okay? So if you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Really helps me out, really helps out the channel. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. And I will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.